Sirens. Raise your hand if you struggle with packing for a destination wedding. Wedding season is upon us, so let's talk about it. I've got you covered. Hola, hola, welcome back to my channel. I'm Stephanie, aka The Viatrix, and it's Travel Tuesday. And this week I thought we'd talk about packing because I recently went on a trip to California for a destination wedding, and the packing was pretty easy. I've got it kind of down at this point, and it's not stressful anymore like it used to be, so I thought it would be helpful to talk through some of the things, my thought process, how I'm choosing outfits for the main events, and how I'm thinking of them in conjunction with the rest of the things in my suitcase. Side note, I've got a couple of outfits going on here because I recorded some things yesterday and then I had more thoughts today, so you're gonna see a little bit of some changes, but just more content for you. All right, let's dive in. So as with any kind of planning, I like to start with the big things. So the weather is the big thing. You definitely want to start by looking at that. And in this case, the main event, the wedding. So I started out I had a couple of ideas in mind for outfits that I wanted to wear. This wedding was a little bit more on the casual side. It was on a farm, but you know, still festive and celebratory. So you want to be respectful of the event. But I knew it could be a little bit more casual and I didn't need to go and buy anything new, which was great. So I had a couple of things in my closet and I started out by pulling them out, trying them on, looking at accessories, shoes, and just thinking about what I would need to bring with me for the actual wedding, for the event itself, that would need to go in my suitcase. So if you're trying to pack light, accessories can really be key, because if you can find accessories that go with various outfits, then you're golden. I mean, shoes are the big example. They take up so much space in your suitcase, especially if you're like me and you wear an 11.5. It takes up like half the suitcase to pack a couple pairs of shoes. So I really have to think about that and try to pack things that, you know, are versatile and can go with multiple things. So I'm looking at the wedding outfits and that's kind of what I'm thinking about. What's the color palette? When I pack, I work with a color palette so that I know that kind of anything can go with anything, and that would be one of my biggest tips. I'm essentially working with a capsule wardrobe when I pack. So minimal pieces that all work together or mostly work together, so that I have lots of options. To be honest, at this point, I pack a lot of the same clothes every time I travel. I kind of just know what works and what things work together, and they are kind of the core of my day-to-day capsule wardrobe, let's say. I don't really do a capsule wardrobe, but I have gotten to a point in my closet that things work together and are all from the same color palette, so that I can just grab a couple things and I know that they'll pretty much work together. And that makes it that much easier when it comes time to packing, which is great. So the jumpsuit that I have just has kind of more of the blues, the purples, the cooler colors, whereas the dress I was trying had a little bit of a warmer color palette. It is a blue, but a little bit of a warmer blue, and then it had kind of more of the reds and creams versus kind of the more silvery tones in the jumpsuit, which would mean that I would need to bring more warmer toned shoes and accessories. But the rest of my closet is more cool tones, so I ended up going with the jumpsuit because I knew that that meant that I could bring silver jewelry, silver shoes, things like that. That might mean it's time to get rid of the dress, actually. So I also had a pretty good sense of what I wanted to bring for the rehearsal dinner. This was a super casual event on the farm, so I knew that I had a kind of a fancy pair of pants with the same, I could wear it with the same heels that I was going to be wearing with the jumpsuit, and a nice t-shirt that matches the pants, and I knew that would work well for that event. You might need something fancier depending on the wedding that you're going to, but if you can, I would still try to think about a color palette and things that work together. I wore the same shoes both nights and that was fine with me. And again, if you're trying to pack light, that's what I would recommend. I don't know that anyone's looking so much at your feet, but it may depend on the wedding that you're going to and your comfort level. So then once I had the main outfits for the events figured out, I started thinking about the rest of the trip. So we were doing a little bit of a road trip around this, just a few nights. It was in Northern California. So I knew we would have some time on the coast. I knew we would have some time in wine country, which are different climates, which makes things trickier. So when I'm getting into different climates, then I'm starting to think about layers. Things that I can wear together to give me warmth when I need them without adding a bunch to my suitcase. Again, I'm always trying to pack things that work together rather than one-off items that, that kind of just only work by themselves. When you are going to an event and you are wearing a dress is going to be a one-off. It doesn't really work with anything else. And that's fine, especially for an event kind of thing. One or two, depending on the trip, that might be the way to go. Generally, it's not what I pack, but for a trip like this, I knew it would work fine and be exactly what I needed. But for the rest of the trip, I'm thinking about things like a t-shirt that I can put under a button down that I can wear with, under a jacket. I have a little Uniqlo jacket that I always pack pretty much every trip. It comes with me because I can stuff it into its little bag and I can tuck it into my carry-on bag or my in-flight bag, and it doesn't take up much room and it gives me good warmth. I ended up stealing my husband's dark denim jacket because I really liked the way that it looked with my two event outfits. It was fine because, again, it was a more casual event. A blazer or a leather jacket might work better for you depending on your trip and the destination. So anyway, layers. I brought, several t-shirts, some button downs. I have a kind of a denim button down from Levi's that I really like because it's just got a little bit more weight to it, so it keeps me a little bit warmer. I end up packing that on a lot of my trips. In fact, a lot of times I'll wear it on the plane since it is a little bit bulkier, but it just keeps me warm, which I really like. So then for bottoms, I really only brought a few. Again, I have a couple things that at this point I kind of bring on every trip. So I have a pair of black kind of like nice sweatpants. I like to wear those on the plane because they're a little bit more comfortable, but they also kind of look put together. They're a great traveling pant. And then I brought a pair of jeans that I know kind of go with everything. And then I had the pair of the fancy pants for the rehearsal dinner. And again, a part of the reason that I picked that outfit for the rehearsal dinner was that it's two pieces, both of which I knew could go with other things that I was pretty sure I was gonna bring. So the pants went with a silk button-down shirt that I also knew that I was gonna bring. So if I wanted to go out to dinner one night, I could wear, either of the tops that I had. I had a couple of tops that worked well with those pants. And then so finally shoes, I only brought the 3 pairs. So the heels that I knew I'd be wearing for the 2 main events, or again, if we went out for a nice dinner one night, I had those. I brought my silver Birkenstocks, which just kind of go with everything. And I also knew that I could change into those at the wedding with the jumpsuit if I wanted something a little bit more comfortable for dancing, which I think I did change them. All the heels were very comfortable, but I think I just was getting the denim jacket and I was like, I'll throw in the Birkenstocks too. And I just thought that was a cute combination and it was sort of perfect for the setting. We're having this fun party, but it's in a barn and it felt right. And then the last pair of shoes is, again, a pair of shoes that I pretty much always pack with me. And they're kind of my go-to shoes for day to day at home too. But I have a pair of New Balance 574s, the super classic New Balances. And I bought them in a color that goes with tons of stuff in my closet. So again, it makes it really easy to pack them. I generally wear them on the plane since they're bulkier. And what I love about them for travel is that they look sort of on trend enough for walking around a city, but then they also work well for an easy hike, and they also work if I want to work out or pretend that I'm going to work out, which also often happens when I'm packing. Raise your hand if you're like me. I know I'm not alone in this. So anyway, all in all, I ended up bringing 3 t-shirts, 1 long sleeve t-shirt, again, just so I'd have some layering options, and I knew that any of those would work under my denim button down, which is the one button down that I brought along with the one silk button down. Was a little bit nicer, or under the Uniqlo jacket, and I could kind of add or subtract layers as I needed for the different climates. And then I brought the 3 pairs of pants, so the 1 pair of jeans, 1 pair of nice black sweatpants, 1 pair of fancy pants, and then the 3 pairs of shoes and my Uniqlo puffer jacket, and then of course the jumpsuit. I brought the jumpsuit for the wedding. But I got it all into the carry-on, no problem. I even had a little bit of room to spare, so I was able to do a little shopping, bring something back with me, and it worked out great. So that's what I've got for you today. I hope this is helpful. I know packing can be so overwhelming. It has been for me in the past, but I've kind of got it down at this point, and it's definitely something that I can share a lot more about. So if that is something that you struggle with or something that is of interest to you, throw it in the comments below. Is it color palettes? Is it capsule wardrobes? Is it, sort of minimal or light packing? What is it that you struggle with or need help with? I would love to talk more about that on this channel. So drop a comment. Don't forget to like and subscribe while you're down there. And I will have a lot of these tips written out in the blog post that accompanies this video, as I do every week. So make sure you head over there. The link is also going to be in the description box below. So go and check it out. And I will see you next week again for another Travel Tuesday. I'll be sharing my vlog from California, so you won't want to miss it. Until then, ciao for now. I just really like the way it looked and told him the other day that that might be kind of mine now. We'll see. I'll share though.